What are you doing? I've never seen you in the window before. Hi. Hi. Well, Stripe did manage to get himself down by himself. Come on, Tux. Let's go, bud. Come on. That's a good boy. Good morning. Good morning. There was a lot of rain in the area last night, but it's like this line right down Highway 64 from the zoo to the coast, and that's just north of us, and we didn't get it again. We're not desperate for it yet, though. Panther was not up on the front porch this morning, but when I called him, he came right out of the ferns, so that's good, and I don't see any trouble between him and me. Stripe often comes around into the front yard to use the restroom in the morning, checks things out, and then goes to the back. So, but I don't see him having come around yet, so we're good. Hey, buddy, good morning. I've got your food. We're out here basically normal weekday time because we're planning to walk and then try to take Ruby up to Tesla and see if they won't slip a battery in for us. Good morning. Hey there, buddy. I've got him out here so early this morning. He's got his coffee in his hand. Since we're going to Tesla, we're staying close and fast because, you know, we want to get out of here to get up there thinking, you know, they're not up there all day today. We did consider going first and then ditch that idea because it just gets hotter and more chance of storm risk. So we'll go back to the house, freshen up, and then head up there. So you did what? You made it so we can carry the Nexus power station with us in case we have to jump the 12 volt?
No, I've got a 12 volt battery booster jumper pack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've had it for, in fact, it was a very...
I misunderstood what he said, obviously. Not the big honking thing, but this other thing.
Yeah, this is the third battery. I put it the original battery, and this is the second replacement battery. So I've had this thing because I had it all the way back when I had the Volkswagen. I got this thing, I think, in the late 90s maybe, and it's, you know, I used it for the lawnmower because the lawnmower used to never. I have a battery minder on it now, but I used to, every time I'd have to jump the lawnmower off, this thing is just great for that.
Well, I'll get him to show it what it is when we get ready to head out with it. Anyway, I assume if we leave and it's working, that it doesn't stop working while you drive down the road. It's just once you stop and exit the car that you don't know if you can get back in or not. So,
well, the key thing we have to watch out for is we cannot put this in the front. Because if we have the battery booster in the front and then we get somewhere and it dies, there's an excellent chance we will not be able to get into the front to get to the battery booster. So don't put the battery booster in the front. Put it where you can get at it if you can get into the car.
Yeah, well, the good thing is while one of us goes in to plead our case to Tesla, the other one can stay in the car and keep the car on. So... Well, I think it's almost pleasant out here this morning.
Well, I'm almost done with my coffee. Almost being the operative word there. I'm not done and it's not pleasant.
We have a 6th birthday Pokemon party. I see a Pokeball. Cool. Oh, we come around the corner out of the sun. I love this curvy downhill part of the trail. I just do. Good morning, Mr. Bunny. Hi. Hello. Good morning. Yeah, they gotta love the brush underneath the kudzu. It's a good protection for them over here. Better than some places for sure. So I keep on running into people on the track that don't know about Yates Mill and don't know about the Fuquay Greenway Trail and don't know about the golf course trail. And Don was laughing at me because I'm like the town
social park.
Social park director or something. I've always told people, if you want to know where to go in Wake County and see what's really there, go to my Smug Mug site, because I have everything classified by location out there pretty good. There's maybe a couple places but missing, but most of them are there. And you could get real, you know, I know Google reviews and stuff kind of does that, but if you just want isolated Wake County, what's there to do, my site would also be helpful, even though I didn't set it up as a tool for figuring out where to go. It could be used as such. Ah, the shade. All right, we're in Ruby and we're headed up to Tesla. I'm gonna let Don go in and plead our case. We're trying to avoid having to be towed or Don to have to install the battery himself, or it's a little more complicated in the X than it is in the 3 and the Y to get to the 12 volt.
Right.
It's not just take the frunk out. Obviously Don could take the frunk out and swap batteries, but there's other stuff to get down to the 12 volt. So
yeah, it's I've been in there before, and it isn't just pop it in, pop it out. Yeah, I'm sure I could do it. Let me be very clear. I could do it, and but we're gonna give Tesla the first crack at it, and we'll see what we can do.
And here's the equipment, the little 12 volt charger Don brought with us.
Battery booster, yeah, that's exactly right. And I bought it. I have a jumper thing that lets you has a clamp clip-ons, so we can clip onto the emergency 12 volt thing or whatever that is.
Yeah.
So we'll go from there.
Yeah, it's 35 down to Piney Grove Wellbond now. You know, in the last 6 months they lowered it from 45 to 35, and so it's pretty easy to get the car to start chiming over here.
Yeah, I have a real knack for it.
So we heard about the profile stuff being saved to the cloud, and are excited to see how that's going to work, which actual profile values will be included, and how well it transitions for us between the X and the Y. I would actually think it would be easier for seat positions in the X and the Y versus, say, the 3 and the X. But I don't know. How's that going to work? Is it going to save seat positions for both vehicles? So it'll know which car you're in and it'll use the right one. That's going to be fun to figure out. Right now for Ruby, it says she's not going to get that because of the 12 volt. No software updates because of the 12 volt, but maybe Jules.
So my thinking is on the cloud profile data, I don't think it's going to apply to cars that do not have the phone key. In other words, I think Ruby and older S's and X's that have the fob without the Bluetooth key are going to not going to get it. That's my hypothesis. I don't
Not
know. Because
they can't do it, but because they have a history of not making these software updates work for the older cars.
Right.
All right, we're here. I think David said his car was on the right. Yep, it's still there. That's his car. He's waiting on parts too. Two, as in Ruby was waiting on the camera stuff for the autopilot issue. Well, it's busy. It's not the worst I've ever seen it. It's definitely busy. I'm sending Dawn in to plead our case today. That's a brand new Y with an 829 plate. My friend picked up her Y on Thursday, black on black. She's very excited. Loving it so far. All good. So you're not upset, and tell us what the scoop was.
Yeah, well, they, the service rep, service desk person.
The advisor.
Thank you, service advisor, said that they have a process for this. What they expect you to walk in and get it fixed. They'll take you in without a service appointment for the battery, replacing the battery. They cannot guarantee, you know, a 5-minute wait. She said it could take several hours, but you know, we will fix it that day. So the only reason they didn't do it today is that technically they're closed now. You know, got here 15 minutes before they close. So she told me basically bring it back Monday morning, and they'll take it in. We're gonna play that by ear at this point. Am I expecting? If it still works on Monday, you know, we'll risk it till Tuesday. If it still works on Tuesday, we'll risk it till Wednesday when we're bringing it up here anyway. At least that's my thinking, but we'll do whatever my pretty girl wants.
Yeah, I haven't decided if I'm gonna come up Monday and handle it or not. So I've seen several cars, Tesla people come out and get them. I think they're either service guys bringing a car around to the back or new deliveries getting prepped. And the little yellow light on the bottom of the LED starts flashing. So when the Tesla person's coming out in the parking lot and they're looking for the car, they're looking for the car with the little turn signal flashing on it. So somehow they're activating that before they walk out. And then they see that visual and they confirm it's the right car and they hop in.
Yeah, I think they're moving as many cars inside as they can, because I think the thunderstorm, we've got some pretty bad weather coming. That's my hypothesis.
Sure.
I think they really are.
Well, I know other times when they've really had like a tropical storm or whatever. One time Ruby was up here and I was assured that Ruby was inside, and they even sent me, the one guy sent me a picture. Yeah, the one guy took a picture of Ruby to show me where she was, and they even had the cars up on the lift and like a car under the lift trying to get as many cars as they could in to protect them from that tropical storm that time. So. Yeah, but I appreciated knowing my girl was inside all tucked away. That was great. Yeah. So, you know, we knew it was going to be a toss-up if we could get it handled today. And I'm glad to know that they're not going to yell at you if you walk up and ask them to do that. And we should have come here first and then done our walk.
Right. We might have got it fixed today.
Yep. Do I got my Legos? Do I got my Legos?
Somebody's got something.
Yay! So we just listened to Zach and Jesse talk about the control arms on Jesse's Model 3 and a medium estimate, then a, you know, not happy, but then a high estimate scare, and then a pickup with a reasonable, pleasant surprise, and the shareholder perspective and the owner perspective, and, you know, the failure and stuff. And just to say that we already went through this with Ruby. Yeah. We had a very similar experience. We were kind of tight-mouthed about it a little bit at the time that it happened. Tesla ended up comping us one of the control arms.
That's right.
But we went up there and Ruby was making this god-awful noises, and they said the left control arm's bad. They fixed the left control arm, and I knew the minute I drove out of the parking lot almost that basically this problem's not fixed. Yeah. There's a lot of noise. And so we went back up there, and yeah, sure enough, the right one's bad too. And then we were told, and this has been 2 years ago now, this was at 56,000 miles, right. So we were just out of warranty. That they have learned to never replace just one. If one's bad, both are bad. So apparently they haven't learned, because a short time ago they replaced one for Jesse, and then Jesse was back getting the other replaced.
Right, but that was under warranty. Right. This is funny. Okay, so if you're going up there replacing it, they probably would have put in both, but it probably would have been the right thing to have done. But under warranty, they just only fixed the one. In other words, in our case, when we took the car up there, I told, at the whole time, I thought it was both. Right. It was, we drove around a parking lot and listened to it, and it didn't matter.
Which way you turned the wheel hard, it made noise.
And if you were on the passenger side, you could hear it coming from the passenger side. And if you were on the driver's side, you could hear it come from the... In other words, I was expecting both, but they said, oh, no, it's just one side. And so that was good. But they did comp. They made everything. They did
right.
Really
it was a minor inconvenience, and they did good by us in the end. And the only thing that I was going to say is, number one, if you're going in for one control arm, make sure they're doing both of them, because
apparently that's what their
apparently
policy is now.
But right, because they actually fixed one of Jesse's that they had previously fixed, which is a little scary. They did, but they should have looked at the service record and known that they had already done that repair on that car.
Right.
They need a checklist. Do I need to go up there and help them? I need a checklist. I think I can keep it straight. Yeah. So.
Well, okay. So. Look, he's complaining about the right control arm, which is the passenger side in the U.S. Many, many years ago, I am not a automobile mechanic, but many, many years ago, my Toyota Camry, front-wheel drive, the right side of the car made squeaks and stuff like that. And I took it to be repaired. And the guy said, yeah, it was the wheel bearing, the hub bearing, it's actually on like the steering arm, the CV joint, the axle shaft slides through this bearing. Anyway, the point being is this what the guy said. I said, well, maybe because the car had, of course, it only had, 175,000 miles on it when we were doing this repair. So, maybe it's time. I asked the guy, well, shouldn't we put both of them on? He says, no, not really. He said, due to the road, the right side is the one that takes all the abuse because...
We turn to the right.
Well, the edge damage of the road, you drop off the shoulder, you accidentally run off the road. Everybody runs off the road a little bit every now and then. So it's the right side that takes the high abuse and is typically fails. He recommended... don't replace the left side. So when I got rid of the Camry at 325,000 miles, it still had the left side bearing had not been replaced. And the right side was still working just great too. Of course, I didn't run off the road very much anymore after I learned that trick. So all I'm saying is with Tesla, though, I would tell you to replace both of them. The control arm, anything with the suspension, if you're going to do something, do it all.
Right. Well, I had, that Acura Integra GS 1991. Dad had to pay the extra money because I wanted the blue paint.
Yep.
And it had the fake shifting that I never used because I hate to shift. I know how to drive a stick shift. I can go do that now, but I don't like it. I don't ever want to have to do that again in my entire life unless it's an emergency. But there were these boots.
Oh, CD boots.
Yes, and... they only lasted approximately 60,000 miles.
That's about right.
And the valves had to be adjusted on that engine. That was like recommended service.
Right.
That was like every 80,000 miles. And then there was the...
But she had the Boy Racer engine.
But then there was the timing belt, every 80,000 miles because they were scared you were going to ruin your engine. And all that recommended Acura/Honda service. So... yeah, we got this control arm issue with the Tesla. That ain't nothing in comparison to my experience with that Integra. Even though the engine went 250,000 miles and it never left me stranded on the side of the road, it cost me a ton of money to do the quote-unquote recommended service. And, they would do the real scare job. You're going to ruin your engine if we don't change the timing belt. If that breaks your engine, and I'm sure that's true, but I don't know how often that was happening. Like maybe at 160,000 miles. I don't know.
Changed my Toyota timing belt, just like they said, every 75,000 miles, baby.
Right. Yeah. So we're still waiting to see Wednesday. We have no, just so you know, we have no estimate for repairs
on the camera.
And on the camera, autopilot camera issue. And I let them know that I don't expect them to charge me anything because the problem occurred due to them changing the cameras for the complimentary FSD beta upgrade. And I plan to stick by that. Like,
well, if nothing else, they should be warranted for even 90 days.
Right, right. Well, I think technically she was trying to tell me the camera went on in April, May, June, July. She was thinking we were near our 90 days. But the problem was documented
months ago.
Before, right. Yeah. The only way I would be in trouble here is for trying to be kind to Tesla and waiting for a software update to see if that would fix it versus reporting it immediately and going up there and demanding that they fix it like 5 days after it happened.
Right.
But anyway, so we're waiting to see, and we do have a TPMS sensor that's got to be fixed. Ruby has 3 alerts. It's so scary right now. Yeah, Johnny was like, Mom, is Ruby, I think he used the word falling apart. I was like, oh God, no, don't say that about my car. It is not falling apart. She may have shown her, the TPMS could happen to any car at any time. That is not a, and same with the 12 volt. Yeah. I mean, I agree the Tesla seems to eat the 12 volts a little faster than our ICE cars. Yeah. But one day with the Odyssey, I got stranded at the Food Lion parking lot with 2 small kids in car seats and $200 or $300 worth of groceries, and I could not get the Honda to start, the van that's still out in the driveway. And these guys came over to help, and thank goodness they were farm boys, because they ended up having to pull the battery out of their car, put it in my car, start my car, move the battery back to their car, and not hook it up, but put the battery back in my car so I could get across the street to AutoZone. And the Honda had all kinds of problems with corroded cables. We paid a lot of money to have the cable. So that was from the battery to the distributor to the starter.
From the battery, they have this mechanism on top of the battery. You know, the Tesla's got this. If you've ever looked at your top of your Model X battery, there's like this. I won't call it a circuit board. There's like a bus bar that sits on the battery post.
At least in Ruby, or in all of them.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking pretty much all of them.
Okay.
But yeah, if that that's you have one in your Honda, and the acid or the vapors probably caused that to corrode, and that's what happened. They said the battery was boiled or something like that, which is true.
Yeah, we had to place those cables in the Honda, and that was a costly and painful thing. And then Don, even after the replacement, there were still problems, and Don was having to.
It did the same thing.
Yeah, Don was having problems. We had, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is, I basically moved that bus bar, that mechanism. I took it out away from the battery post. I engineered a better battery cable.
Yeah, so
I just 7 years ago.
Right, in perspective, other cars can have problems too. It's just that because we watch all the Tesla channels, so now they're talking about basically like, well, Tesla has a service advisor, but sort of not really. Like, not the service advisor at the Honda where they come out and they sit down and they almost want to reach over like they're consoling you that you've lost a family member, and reach out and touch your hand when they tell you all the services you need. That's how it was at Honda. It was very scary. It was like, oh my God, they're coming. I mean, at least when you go into Tesla, you usually have an estimate.
Yeah.
You know, and you can ask questions about the estimate before you approve it. Yeah. And Don and I are usually like, well, it is what it is, and you got to drive your car, so, you know, approve the thing. And then
they're not trying to say you necessarily
right. So I hear what Zach is saying here, but I don't really want the person coming out. I mean, I think once or twice at the Honda place, I was like, hang on a minute, I'm going to call and talk to someone. You know, as a woman, you don't want to admit that they might have used a term about a car that you don't know. But, you know, you call and you talk to someone, and then you tell them, no, I don't think we need to do that today. Or, you know, they use scare tactics. I have had scare tactics done to me at Acura and Honda. Wow. Absolutely 100% as a woman felt like scare tactics. You know, I mean, I'm okay with saying, you know, this is recommended service and it's recommended for this reason. Yeah. But, you know, do you want to do this today? Do you want to schedule it next month? Do you, you know, how do you feel about that? But I've had the pressure sales at the service thing. So I don't want to go back to that. We can fix this. All I'm trying to say to Zach is we can fix this without having the service visor pressure.
Right.
I don't want the pressure. You know, you get Tesla throws an estimate at you, and you approve it or you don't, or you ask a question or you don't. But the service advisor thing, that was because you're on the spot. You don't have time to research it. You don't have time to look it up. But I agree that communication needs improvement. But I don't want to go back to the dealer service advisor model scare tactics either.
Right.
Well, I got the walls and stuff done all the way up, and the stairs installed, and the bedroom furniture installed, and yeah, I'm missing 3 windows. They'll be easy to put in. That's not a big deal. And Let's see what else. I need a lot more tan floor tile that I don't have. There's some pieces missing in the bedroom section. The stairs, I did a better job this time, the first time, and I even went back and fixed one thing about the stairs one floor down. These stairs they're exactly as I want them now. I'm really happy with them. And let's see. So I got, I need to decide what furniture is going in here, and I really haven't decided yet. And, do the flooring. And I could start on the next floor if I want to while I wait on tan tiles, or I can build furniture. The next floor, it's built in 2 pieces. It's a front piece, and that has, that looks kind of, I don't know, it's got the roof line on it, the dark blue roof line. And then a back piece that has like these 2 skylights and a little deck area overlooking the deck area. So anyway, I'm excited about it. I got pretty far with the bricks. I did not order enough 1x2 turquoise. I had enough to finish this, but I don't think for the next level up that I have enough of those either. So that was also kind of frustrating.